Hey there, Photo Universe. Okay, so we got some Canon gear here, and we want to do a little talking about the 5D Mark III. Be that one back there. So here's the story, right? Okay, here's the story. So this is not a review. So for the people that post comments, hey, where's the charts, and where's the tests, and where's the test charts, and all that. I don't do that. This is my opinions and experiences based upon 30 years as a professional working photographer, shooting weddings, landscapes, having gallery shows, things like that. So, so if that's not what you're here for, then move on. Okay. So don't ask me for test charts and reviews and anything. It's just my impressions on how the cameras work for me, which may be helpful to some people, we hope. Disclaimers out of the way, so the 1% of the people that don't get it don't get upset. And let's move on. All right, so shot film for years, medium format film, Hasselblads, Pentax 645s, Pentax 67s. I had a lot of experience with those. Shot a lot of 645 Pentax. Everybody's using Hasselblads, I was using Pentax 645s. Loved the motors, changing the film fast, lovely. I mean, it was great. Shot a lot of weddings. Okay. So digital came out, and my first, I kind of really got serious with digital Canon 20Ds, because back in the day, 2004, 2005, you know, when digital first came out, you'd push the button and then the computer would, like, you know, the smoke would come out of it and the wheels would turn and more smoke would come out of it, and then it'd take the picture, and then it had to wait, and it was right into the disc, and the squirrels would start running and whatever, you know, and then it, you know, and then you could take another picture. It's ridiculous. Okay. And kind of when we hit the 20D level, all right, that's when you took a picture and the highlights weren't like totally blown out with a good exposure. I mean, you had more than 4 stops of dynamic range, because some of those early digital cameras were kind of iffy about that. So the 20D came out, and it was the first camera that kind of felt like you were shooting with a film camera. You could put it on continuous drive, push the button down, and go gajee, 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 gajee. I mean, it was great, you know. And it was like, oh, this is like a film camera. It was kind of the first camera that felt like you were shooting film again. Okay. So then we were all happy with that, and we really enjoyed our Canon 20Ds. It was like, this is cool, this is really working, this is great, this replaces film. And then we made some 16 by 20 landscape prints, and he says, doesn't replace film. Medium format film is better than this. Okay. So that started the quest for more megapixels, because what we wanted, the holy grail, was to get a 16 by 20 or 16 by 24 landscape photograph. You know, Bryce Canyon, Grand Canyon, whatever, Canyon de Chelly, all these canyons, right? Waterfall, whatever, all right? And we wanted to make 16 by 24s that were really sharp, fine art quality sharp, medium format, Pentax 6 by 7 quality sharp. And so I personally went, I didn't go with the 5D Mark 1, 5D Classic, because it was $3,000, and the 12 megapixels versus the 8 mega from the Canon 20D, it just didn't appeal to me. For some reason, I don't know why. I wanted more of a robust build, really, to be honest with you. So I went with the Nikon D200. And, you know, the 10 megapixels, it was a CCD sensor, and some of my best photographs were taken with the Nikon D200. I don't know why that is. But 16 by 24s were still suffering. The 16 by 20s, they just I was doing all these hocus pocus things to try to get the resolution up, to get the fine detail, and they never really satisfied. Okay, they didn't satisfy me. A lot of people out there say, I shoot, so, you know, yeah, it's good for you. Okay, great. I'm sure that's wonderful. Didn't work for me. Okay, so Canon came out with the 1DS Mark III, 21 megapixels, and I saw some stuff from that. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's where we're going. That's great. $8,000. You gotta be kidding me. And then Nikon was stuck with the D700, D300 at 12 megapixels forever. And then they finally came out with 24 megapixel what was it, the D3X? D3X, 24 megapixels, $8,000 again. Youch. And I remember when that 24 megapixel Nikon came out, people were freaking. They were like, oh, it's so sharp, it's this, that, and everything, blah, blah, blah. $8,000, yeah, I got that. Okay, great. I feel sorry for those people who paid $8,000 for that now. So when the Canon 5D Mark II came out with the 21 megapixel $8,000 1DS Mark III sensor in it, I got excited about that. and I picked up a Canon 5D Mark II, and that was the first time where I went out and shot some landscape stuff, and I came home and I printed it up at 16 by 24, 20 by 30, 24 by 30, and I was like, yeah, that's it, we're there. I was happy with the image quality finally. And happy, I mean, you know, I was being really, you know, it was 6 by 7, you know, it was medium format image quality. It was gorgeous. I mean, you know, and it still is to this day. But then getting real picky, you know, never being satisfied, right? Then we started looking at the camera and saying, you know, this 20D autofocus still sucks, because the 5D Mark II still had the 20D autofocus in it. And some other things, it was still 20D-ish, right? And it was like, yeah. Okay. And what really kind of did it was they came out with the 7D. And you start shooting the 7D, switching back and forth. A lot of people did this. They had 5D Mark IIs and 7Ds. 7Ds for speed, 5D Mark II, speed and reach, because you put your 70-200 2.8 on this and you got a great sports lens. 300mm 2.8, and the 5D2 was their landscape camera, right? But then you actually, in practice, so you get used to shooting your 7D and you're enjoying it, and then you go to 5D Mark II and you go, yeah, I wish I had 5 stops of exposure compensation. I wish I had the intelligent viewfinder. I wish I had the grid screen I could turn it on and off. I like the on and off switch up here better. I like the Q button over there. I mean, you know, little things, right? I like the grip a little bit better. Boy, I wish the 7D had the 5D Mark II sensor in it. That'd be the perfect camera. So Canon, paying attention to all that, came out the 5D Mark III. And yeah, we're there. I can't say it any better. We're there. Okay. The autofocus in this thing, oh man. It's the best autofocus I've ever used in any camera. Fantastic. You know, maybe the 1 series is better. I'm sure it is. Wouldn't want that kind of weight though. This is already starting to become a hunk of camera, right? But yeah, 5D Mark III is there. I mean, you could shoot 6 frames per second. You could shoot sports with it. The thing is fast. The viewfinder's gorgeous. 100% viewfinder. 5D Mark II isn't. 98%. I mean, splitting hairs, but I'll take 100% over 98% every day of the week. The one complaint, so here's my, okay, you want to turn this into a review? Here's my review of the 5D Mark III. It's a perfect camera except for one thing. I would take the rate button and the info button and I'd switch them. Because I use the image review button and I use the info button a lot with that, and it's kind of a stretch up here. And if that sounds like a ridiculous criticism, it is. Because this camera is almost perfect. But, you know, in practice, I like where the info button is on the 5D Mark II better. It's the one thing I like about the 5D Mark II better than the 5D Mark III. Other than that, and you know, the rate button is kind of like it does one thing and it puts a star on your image. I mean, and that you're going to put that in prime real estate right there. I understand the engineers were going for all the blue buttons together, but you know what? They should have been they obviously weren't photographers, because photographers wouldn't put the rate button there. They put it over there because it's not used as much, and the info button's used a lot more. That's my opinion, and that's my opinion on that. Intelligent viewfinder, the 63 zone focusing, 63 zone metering. It is superb. The LCD on the back is superb. It's a pleasure. The flash metering, this is better than Nikon flash metering. It just is. I mean, unless the Nikon flash metering has gotten better since the D700, D300, which it may have. I don't know. I have experience with it beyond that, and it probably has. But you reach a point where, you know, you won, okay? And when you reach that point, we're good, right? So, yeah, this is a 10, 20-year camera. I mean, there's no reason to upgrade. And people are saying, well, you know, the 5D Mark III, blah, 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 it was $3,500, and the Nikon D800 was $2,000, $3,000. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. But you know what? 36 megapixels? Don't need them. Rather not have them. And this is from a person that switched from the D700 full-frame Nikon to the Canon 5D Mark II for the megapixels, to go from 12 to 21. Okay? But you know what? Once I hit 21, 21, 22, anything over 20, right? 5D Mark III, 5D Mark II, I'm satisfied with megapixels. My prints, if I get to the point someday where I'm making 30 by 40s or 8 foot by 20 foot prints or something, and I'm not getting it, well, we'll think about going for more megapixels. I'm just saying, okay? And I'm picky. So price-wise, $3,500. You know, I balked at that for a long time. I'm glad I did, because I got the camera for under $3,000 with overnight delivery, which was awesome. However, I will say this: now that I have the camera for $3,500, it's worth $3,500. And you know, I'm not tempted at all by the D800, and I'm particularly not tempted at all by the D800 when you think that they're having quality control issues, right? So let's address that for a second. The D800, right? The D700 was a brick, and I mean that in a good way. That camera was solid. That camera was high quality. That camera was what Nikon's known for. Quality control was brilliant. Beautiful cameras, no issues, solid. So they came out with the D800 with 36 megapixels, and people were like, oh, Nikon build quality like the D700, $3,000, 36 megapixels, what's not to love? Well, read the forums. What's not to love is like, you know, one guy said on one of the forums, his D700, which he's been using hard for 18 months, has less paint wear than his D800 did in 1 month with light use. And he says the paint's much thinner. I mean, I have to believe him, right? Why would he say that? The guy likes, you know, he seems real level-headed. The left AF focusing issues, what's going on there? Quality control. So the point is like, I think the impression that I'm coming away with is Nikon lowered their standards a little bit to meet a price point, which is okay. I mean, they were up at a really high price, really high standard, and they lowered a bit. So here's the thing. People thought they were getting D700 quality for the $3,000 of the D800. And ironically, Canon hits it out of the park and ups their game to a much higher quality standard, much more solid. The autofocus in this thing's brilliant, professional. This is a 1D light. The 5D Mark II is a 20D with a full frame sensor. The 5D Mark III is a 1D light. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? There's a paradigm shift there. Canon really bumped up the specs and the build specification and the quality on a 5D Mark III. Pardon me. And they charged $3,500 for it. But the perception in the customer's mind was, oh, I'm still getting the 20D, 5D quality, and they're charging $500 extra for it. See, but that's not it at all. So I'm telling you right now, at Photo Universe, we always want to pay as little as we can to a reputable dealer for a good quality product, and that usually means B&H, but or Amazon, direct, not Amazon third party. But this camera is worth the $3,500 because we don't have left AF issues, and we don't have paint peeling, and we do have, you know, state-of-the-art autofocus and flash metering and camera metering and LCD and all the rest of it. It's just brilliant camera. Fantastic. So, I mean, believe it or not, it's the 7D with a full frame sensor, but better. So, but I will say this, when they come out with 7D Mark II and they make the changes that they made in this, they're going to be subtle. Because the 7D is, like I said in another video, it's an evolved product. We're there. No reason to upgrade the 7D. The flash metering is great. The metering is great. 5D Mark III flash metering is great. The metering is great. The image quality is fantastic. 5D Mark II, right? Image quality is fantastic. Flash metering is 20D flash metering. The regular metering is iffy sometimes. You know, there's room for improvement, right? But we keep it around because it's good to have, and it's the image quality is impeccable. When you know, you just have to work a little harder. So okay, so that's impressions of 5D Mark III. A little compare and contrast with the D800 and what's happening with Nikon these days. So the 6D and the Nikon D600, where's that fit in, you know? And to be honest with you, I have no idea, okay? Because I know that's not the camera that I need. You know, 5D Mark II, I've been stuck in 20D lower specification, 60D lower specification, full frame body with a great sensor for 2-3 years now. And so that 6D doesn't appeal to me at all. You know, for the extra $1,500, all day, every day, all day long, I have no use for 6D. I need a 5D Mark III because that's what I shoot. This is if I were going to design a camera for my specifications, it would be a 5D Mark III. That's perfect. Except I'd move the rate button and the info button, but that's just me. So okay, there it is. Those are my impressions. That's it with Photo Universe. I hope that helps somebody. I'm sure it will. I get great feedback from a lot of people. I really appreciate you people. That's awesome. And watch CanonPriceWatch.com. Well, it's not a video thing. You don't watch it. But what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a good price, watch CanonPriceWatch.com. Every once in a while, you get a reputable dealer that comes up with a really low price for some reason. And as we march into next month and stuff, even with minimum advertised pricing, I'm expecting some deals to happen. So I'm keeping my eyes open. That's number one. And if you want a full review of any of these cameras, go to DPreview. They have all the charts and the test charts and the, and all that. So that's where I recommend, there's a lot. Also, the digital picture. Google that or start page on that. Digitalpicture.com, I think. And they do good reviews of lenses and camera, and pretty in-depth. You can read through those. I mean, there's a lot of places that'll do that, but there aren't too many places on the web where you can get a 30-year professional's opinion of what he thinks about using the camera. And that's what we do here at Photo Universe, and we, people seem to like it, and so that's why we do it. So, okay, that's great. That's it with Photo Universe. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Appreciate it. Have a great Thanksgiving if I don't make a video before then, because the next week's going to be pretty busy, and hopefully I'll get this one up here pretty soon. All right, appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.